everybody, SonGoshuaku here, ready to review Dragon Ball DAIMA episode 14. And then here we go, kicking right off with the action basically here. Making sure, I think, okay, here we are, making sure I got the right name here. So, episode is Taboo, and we kick things right off where we left off. Basically with Panzy right there, wondering how long it's going to be before they arrive to the Demon Realm #1. And from here, Glorio basically says not too long, and yeah, Panzy is excited. I mean, aren't we all? It has been a long ride to get here to the Demon Realm, to the first Demon Realm, that is. And so right away here, you end up seeing that it looks like, yeah, she's basically grabbing, I think it's sort of like some communicator, like a cell phone pretty much. And from here, you see that that green bug looking guy, who we actually saw in previous early episodes, and we learned that basically he is definitely ready to speak and see where the heck has Panzy been. That is what he's just basically trying to figure out. And she mentions how, yeah, it was the Karakin ate her cell, and that's why it's been terrible. And he's like, oh, I hope you're okay, and stuff like that, and stuff, knowing what's in the second Demon Realm. But Panzy is quick to let him know that, hey, we got those Dragon Balls, both of them, and, you know, he finds that to be amazing. And he mentions that her father, King Caden, I believe his name was, it's been a while since we've seen him, is that he basically got some sort of poor-looking ship right there, to try and get ready to go to the first Demon Realm. And she's like, we're good, because here you see Son Goku knocking out at boys, and ZZ's and like meanwhile Vegeta and Piccolo are just nice quiet sleepers. I thought that was a pretty good nice detail. And so yeah, basically she explains that the people from the outside world, that they are basically strong enough as it is. And we get Vegeta here, who opens up one eye, and he's basically wondering, is like, okay, so let me get this right, this guy's a king, yet he steals someone else's ship. And she's like, well, it's basically one that's mid-sized busted plane, and how even though he's a king, they're not exactly rich and stuff. And Bulma, aka Boma, hey, we got see Gracie Goo in the chat saying hi. Hey, welcome, thanks for joining the stream. And it basically says that if you get some Majilite, if you get her some Majilite, she'll give them a few planes and stuff like that. And Pansy's like, seriously, that's awesome and everything. So it's cool that Bulma is looking out for them. And here you see Glorio's got this look like, if y'all gonna be able to do that or something. Of course, we know he's secretly working with Dr. Arinsu. Man, we got some more people in the chat here. Thanks for joining, Tegan Rogers, and Keisha Dorham says, I can't tell the difference. I'm not sure as far as what you mean by you can't tell the difference. If you could probably elaborate on that. So there you go. They end up going over to Warp Sama, who has been disabled. And there you see Gomah's like, get the Zandaramari, which is basically his military police. And he's asking, are they ready? And basically, Degesu says, yeah, they have arrived and everything like that. Adrian, thanks for joining the chat and everything from there. And Perka Pop says, is this Naruto? No, far from Naruto. This is Dragon Ball and everything. But if you are new to Dragon Ball, if you are a fan of Naruto, definitely Dragon Ball is it was highly inspired from it. So going from here, we've got Gomah. He's basically says, send the special forces, and Degesu says they're right over there. And this is once again Dragon Ball DAIMA rewarding you for being an old school Dragon Ball fan, going back to Dragon Ball Z. We see these 5 guys, basically they're up here, man, they are going on, just basically snacking out, pigging out. This guy was really funny. Looked like it was Pocky, but the way the animation was, he's like, man, he was biting hard into that, which if y'all never had Pocky before, it's really good. I highly recommend it. And then they have, I guess, these gummy looking bugs. They might be real bugs though, knowing exactly how things work in the diamond realm and all that stuff. And then from there you see he's chowing down some ice cream, and there you go, all 5 of these guys. And I can't be the only one who was thinking this. I already knew right off the bat these guys were gonna be basically the Ginyu Force. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Tokyo Ghoul. Haven't seen that anime yet, but I heard it's really good. Let's see, literally 7 years old. What King, Hayden has entered. Thank you for joining the chat. What king of stuff do you post? What kind of stuff do you post? I'm new and I'm assuming you post Dragon Ball content. Yes, I definitely do mostly post Dragon Ball content, WWE content, voice acting content, filmmaking content, and everything. So yeah, you can find a plethora of that stuff on my channel and everything. And every Friday now I'm streaming Dragon Ball DAIMA, which is the current Dragon Ball series out, and Squid Game. That's another thing that I've heard is really good. Haven't gotten around to watching that one yet. And then Victoria has entered. Hey, thank you for joining the chat. I really appreciate it. And so we see these guys, basically, they realize, this was hilarious right here. So they're pigging out, and Degesu's like, oh my gosh, like he said these guys are going to be the serious, for real deal. And Gomah's just looking right there, basically, And I love he does this thing where he looks right over to Degesu, and Degetsu's like, ah! And Degetsu's like, yeah, some decorum. Yeah, and he basically ends up getting these 5 dudes attention, and they see Gomah getting angry, and they're like, Gomah-sama! Classic Toriyama humor here, hilarious. And so they start running over to Gomah, and they immediately are in check. And you see these lights that are going on right here, and the lights, they all dimmed out. And then they start having these fancy lights going on. And from here, the pedestals that these guys are on, it starts rising. And Gomah's like, and this right here is taken directly from the Frieza saga. As most of us have probably known, Dragon Ball DAIMA is a celebration of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai, and Dragon Ball Super. All the Dragon Ball series wrapped up their run, so this is rewarding you if you watch the Frieza saga. So you see all of them. They do their dramatic entrances, basically just like the Ginyu Force. So Force Captain Kadim, and it is like Force Member number 2, Danima, and Force Member number 3, Hiliha, and Force Member number 4, Mashimi, Force Member number 5, Gaimo. I probably butchered some of those names because my Japanese pronunciation is awful, but I tried my best there. And I'm like, man, this is or definitely something. And so the 5 of them jump in the air and they land right here on the ground, and this is literally taken from the Ginyu Force, the background and everything, the Zandamari Force, aka military force of Gomah. So these are the top 5 notch guys basically, and I thought this was hilarious right here, and they start celebrating, yay! And once again, like I said, this is taken directly from the Frieza saga, because if you all remember when the Ginyu Force did their special pose, you had Frieza, he was sitting there, he's like, oh, you know, he was completely like, okay, are we supposed to take these guys serious? And you see right there, he is completely embarrassed, okay, by these guys, and they just start shooting up the place, like boom, basically just start going ham all over the place, like bam, blowing up all the nice materials. And y'all know already, I've been saying constantly through this entire series, I love Dragon Ball DAIMA's backgrounds, tremendous artwork, and all that artwork clearly is getting destroyed here. Just boom, everything, all the stuff, like bam, man, and everything. And it's basically Gomah's here is like, good work here. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so he's basically asking, what sort of situation did you need the super elite for this? And we get this really cool graphic here, and he starts explaining how, okay, we got these intruders who are coming from the second demon realm to try to get into the first demon realm, and you know, they shut off warp sama to make sure that nothing is gonna go down here. And we get here right here, we get basically the leader, basically he's wondering who's our enemy, and he finds out, did you say our enemy are children? And Gomah, he emphasized, well, they're more like adults who look like children, because of course Gomah turned them back, their bodies back into kids, thinking it would make them weaker. And boy, was he right, because we saw how ham Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta went a couple episodes ago, and he's telling them that, hey, you need to forget their appearance, because you will be completely deceived and caught off guard if you take them lightly. And Gomah knows that's exactly what he's done. And this comment right here is wild. He says, don't worry, we got this. He says, you can go take a bath or whatever and play with your fart bubbles. What? Oh my gosh. Yeah, these guys are just total Toriyama. You can tell hear the Toriyama influence here. So these are definitely classic Toriyama characters here. And so Degesu's like, no, this is not a joke. You need to take these guys serious, because they defeated Majin Buu and even the Tamagamis, two of the most fearsome entities from the demon realm. And these guys like, that must be a joke, right? Who's gonna beat Majin Buu, let alone the Tamagamis? And to Degesu right there, you see his patients are being drawn like these idiots. They don't understand. He's like, it's not a joke. And so from here, he's like, listen, yeah, Gomah basically puts his foot down, saying that, listen, a single foot, they don't need to make one single foot in this palace, or else you see these bullet holes or these blast holes that you guys and shot up, how you destroyed my whole stuff here. He basically puts his staff down, destroys it, says, I'm gonna make you pay for all the repairs to this lobby. And so very quickly, for whatever reason, the part of the ceiling starts to fall, and it goes down, and that's gotten their attention real quick. And basically they start walking up, and you know, they're put together, and he's like, you know, they really got to be serious, right? They got to be joking. And the other guy's like, yeah, of course they're exaggerating. Absolutely. These guys can't be that strong. Come on now, right? And then they start, let's go to the convenience store and get some more snacks. I want to say right here, this segment was hilarious. This was funny. Like I said, it was some of that Ginyu Force humor. But the difference here that I was wondering is when the Ginyu Force was introduced in Dragon Ball Z, even though they were goofy, it was made clear that, oh, these guys are the real deal, because Vegeta was telling Kuririn, aka Krillin, and Son Gohan how big of a deal these Ginyu Force guys was. And I'm thinking, okay, if these are the top 5 Zandamarri, we know that Goku and our heroes have defeated Majin Buu, and they've defeated the 2 of the Tamagamis, and clearly we see now that Dr. Arinsu with Majin Duu is packing a warrior stronger than the most powerful Tamagami number 1. So I'm like, what are these 5 guys got that Majin Buu and the Tamagamis don't? Because if not, Gomah's in real trouble here. And clearly, right off the bat, it's been established that these guys are not meant to be taken serious. So I was wondering, all right, let's see how this is gonna turn out. And so we're back at where we are for Demon Realm 2. Warp Sama is completely out of it. And they realize it, and Gomah's like, yeah, it must have been Gomah who decided to go ahead and disable Warp Sama, aka Warp, so they couldn't get there. And Son Goku's like, open the door. So Goku takes his Neo Bow, aka the Power Pole, and he starts poking at So Warp's lips, and so Warp, he's out, he's completely disabled, and Goku's like, it's no good. So Vegeta starts wondering, like, hey, is there another way to the first demon realm? And basically I think Hibiscus tells him, no, there's no way. That tunnel is completely sealed off, so there's just no way to get there. And Son Goku's looking down on there, and he gets the idea, maybe I can go ahead and break this. So he tells his Neobo, aka Power Pole, to extend. And there goes the Neobo all the way down. And as it's reaching the center point of the shield, Panzy yells, says, "What are you doing?" Says, "If you touch that thing, you're dead. You ain't coming back, dunzo." And she is freaking out basically by this. And when it hits the shield, electricity, it starts glowing up. Electricity starts flowing up in the air, and it comes right back up the pole and hits Son Goku's head, and boom, Son Goku is electrocuted. Yo, this is not to detract too much. This reminds me of a funny story that I had back in high school and everything. And see, Lee D Nide? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. It said, "Hello, what's your name? I go by SonGoshuaku," as you can see right there on my where my social media platforms are and stuff and everything. Thanks for joining the chat. This reminds me of a funny story. So back in high school, there was this hilarious moment where one of my teachers, and I won't say his name obviously, but he was saying that basically when he was a kid, his cousins played a prank on him and told him to go ahead and pee on an electric fence, and he said as soon as he the electricity went up through his urine and zapped him right down below the belt. And I can tell you, me and all the guys in the classroom, when we heard him tell the story, we were like, "Oh," because you would not want to imagine. That's exactly what this story reminds me of. But that teacher was really cool and everything. Zach, thanks for joining the chat. Says the GOAT. If you're talking about Son Goku, yes, I agree. The GOAT, Son Goku, the GOAT, yeah. And so yeah, man, Goku's getting wrecked by this electricity, and so from there, it looks like Goku is done for, and he falls off. And what we get here, ladies and gentlemen, is perhaps the longest fall ever reported in Dragon Ball history. You'll see what I mean as I break this down more. So Son Goku already looks like he's about halfway there to the surface, and you have Panzy lets out this dramatic Goku. Oh man. And so you have Neva, who walks very slowly, obviously, and Piccolo's like, you know, what's going on? What are you gonna do? And Neva's basically like, I thought I air out the demon realm a bit. And Son Goku is still falling. Like I said, he looked like he was about halfway there. So how far of a deep is this? You have to wonder. So Neva flies up, and you know how slow Neva moves. So how long is Son Goku falling? And so Neva right here does something cool. So he basically starts speaking Namekian. So he says Portarat da Dorusi Popele Paro. I probably misbutchered that all and everything, Namekian. But yeah, he keeps repeating this over and over and over. And as he's doing this, we get this really cool energy glow. And Piccolo, he seems to recognize a little bit of what Neva is doing, or is just in complete awe. And so Neva, he uses this thing to go into the sky, and what we see is some pretty OP stuff. This purple light starts beaming, getting bigger and bigger, and it starts looks like it starts making the shield glow. And once again, like I mentioned in all this, Son Goku is still falling. I need to know, how long has Goku been falling? Zach asks in the chat, is this the new episode? Yes, this is the latest episode that just dropped today on Crunchyroll and on Fuji TV in Japan. And Goku is falling down to the ground, still taking forever. And we see in the sky too, that light is also, the shield is turning glowing purple on that one. And from here, Panzy is in awe of what we're seeing. We see in her the reflection in her eye. Just once again, shout out to the animation staff doing a fantastic job as always, as she's looking over to see exactly what's going on. And these effects are really cool. Dragon Ball DAIMA consistently has done one thing. We can say as much, you know, some like the pacing, some don't like the pacing. There's been other episodes that have been really big and other episodes not been so much. And obviously, but one thing that is a general consensus that I know nobody can deny is is that the animation has been absolutely on point in Dragon Ball DAIMA. And from there, we get this really cool, gorgeous lighting here as the shields are fading, just as Panzy is saying there, from the third into the third demon realm. And then he drops this one, that being Neva. He drops this one and it flies. Oh my gosh, how long has Son Goku been falling? I really need to know this. So this thing ends up dropping way past Son Goku, and basically right here you see it start to glow, and Goku finally wakes up, and there you see the shield to the first demon realm starts glowing, and Goku, really awesome shot. I love how this is drawn. Animation staff, once again, like I said, they are absolutely on point. And so Goku's like, oh, and basically you start seeing the glowing, and this just looks amazing right here. So both portals to the demon realms 3 and 1 have now been opened, and glory is like unbelievable. So it's very fascinating, because I was saying on the last episode, I thought based on what we saw with how Super Buu and SS3 Gotenks were able to break the fabric of the dimensions from the Room of Spirit and Time, aka the hyperbolic time chamber, and go into the back into the world of Earth, I thought that's what we were going to see with Goku and Vegeta. I believe they had at least gotten that strong now, but Neva, he just does it with ease, no screaming, no nothing. So Neva proving to do a lot of power. I'm gonna take a water break here. All right, so we get the tunnels that are now open, and we see that they can now go through this, and Son Goku gets back on the plane thinking he was dead, and so he ends up putting, as they say in pro wrestling, he ends up putting over Neva big time, calls him Gramps, like basically saying that was amazing. And so Piccolo, he then asks, he was like, he assumes that you must have been the one who made these shields between the demon, that link the demon realms together. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. And he basically goes on to explain that the second demon realm was in chaos. And we see a flashback here, and these are looking like some of the demons that some of those jabroni demons, in fact, that Goku and Vegeta were completely owning in the early episodes. So he calls them the Ruffins, saying they would come to the third demon realm, and that basically they were arrogant, and they would come from the first demon realm, and it was impossible. He said basically living peace was impossible. I don't think we've seen these characters yet that are wearing black there, but what we seeing, that lady looks familiar. That looks like the lady that the Gendarmerie, aka Gomah's military police, actually had basically held captive in the previous episode, particularly when it was Majin Duu fighting Tamagami number 1. So I wonder if this will come up to play later. And he basically says it's one of the reasons why the Namek Saiyajins, aka Namekians, left to the outside world. And that's one reason why, once again, I got the subtitle versions up, because I'm not going to remember all this and stuff, basically, like I was doing before. So I mean, it's great to, as I review these frame by frame, I can go through and have the subtitles here to break this stuff down. And then, so basically, he put the shields up as a way to prevent them, and that's why he put the whole thing with Warp Sama in place, and it's allowed travel. But yeah, he mentions how the travelers have decreased and quiet down in recent times, and basically Piccolo says there's no Namekian like you in the outside world, and basically says you are truly legendary. Yeah, so this is, yeah, I would say that definitely is. Neva has gone beyond anything we've seen from any Namekian in all of Dragon Ball. So his powers are impressive. Going back to episode 1, when he, and I think most of you who are only watching the English dub have probably seen that and stuff now. And Neva basically, he just starts laughing. And so Son Goku's like, yeah, let's go to the first demon realm. And basically everybody raises their arms up and proudly says, we are the nation of domination. Dun, 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 dun. Nation of domination. No, I kid. That's just a pro wrestling fan of me. So y'all who are fans, 90s WWE fans will remember that back in the Attitude Era, Nation of Domination. But no, they put their fists in the air in unity, ready to go ahead to the first demon realm. And so Glorio basically takes that ship and flies straight in to the portal of the first demon realm. And Son Goku is all ecstatic. He's like, let's go. All right, take a little water break here. All right, so from there we go. We end up having they're going through this big tunnel, and there you see right there the demon realm looking a lot more, I would say, hellish. Basically, I think Demon Realm 1 to me, there's Gomah picking his nose, but Demon Realm 1 to me, I think, really looked like what we thought the demon world would look, basically what we envisioned the demon world being, because 1 and 2 were quite gorgeous, but 3 looks just very hellish and evil and stuff. And I think this is perfect for a final battle. Like, it reminds me of Planet Namek's destruction, which with, you know, Son Goku versus Frieza, one of the all-time great battles in not just Dragon Ball history, but all of anime history. I also think it's one of the greatest backgrounds. Like, that background just fits that of a true final battle. Hopefully we get to play this in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero when they start releasing DAIMA DLC. So yeah, we get picking his nose Gomah, and Degesu's like, did you hear that? And they kind of start thinking maybe it's the wind, like the wind is blowing. And this is where Gomah's like, don't scare me like that, Degesu. And from there, Degetsu's like, yeah, I apologize and stuff. So they can't really make out what's going on here. Then we come to what it looks like to be a convenience store, as it has Gomah's headpiece on there. It looks like. So there you go. You see this guy. I guess this is their version of 7-Eleven in the demon realm and everything. But man, this background looks amazing. I cannot man, the amount of tension, the detail, the time, the effort that the artists for Dragon Ball DAIMA put into these backgrounds, truly tremendous. I've loved every single background we've seen over in Dragon Ball DAIMA. I guess they can get a lot more detail with this because of the amount of time they had. I highly doubt Toriyama wanted to draw. I'm an artist myself. I wouldn't want to draw anything in this detail each single panel. So I imagine that's probably the reason why we've never seen that many type of detailed backgrounds when it comes to the Dragon Ball world. So yeah, they've got food, and I must admit that food looks really good, but I might not want to try it just because of what the demon world, what they kind of be using for the ingredients. So there you have the 5 special forces of the military police for Gomah, aka the Gendarmerie, as the Crunchyroll subtitles call them. And yeah, they're finding chips that look like bugs, looks like maggots. Oh my gosh. So they say, look, they even got mold mayonnaise flavor too. Oh gosh, you know, I remember when I was a kid, I saw molded mayonnaise. Looks absolutely disgusting, let alone flavor. Man, they be eating some wild stuff in the demon realm. Ugh, mold mayonnaise flavor. Oh gosh. But hey, their biology is a lot different. They can probably take it. So then we get the arrival of somebody's footsteps. And yeah, I was, as they would say in pro wrestling, I was marking out. I was like, yeah, there we go. We got the duel of Majin Duu and Majin Duu. These guys are hilarious. Like I said, they're not meant to be taken serious, and I love these guys when they appear because we always get some good comedy gold, and they're looking for some potato chips and stuff like that. So this is the first meeting of the Gendarmerie and basically the Duu and Duu Majin brothers, and basically they're saying when you're at our power level, you can buy all the snacks that you want. And from here, they're like, oh, they're looking at them like amazing, the amount of snacks that they've been brought in. And so Majin Duu goes like, chocolate chocolate. And so I guess that's all Brett, and he's like, I guess that's all Bratz can afford is one single chocolate bar. And so he ends up, and these Damari guys seem to be pretty good. They grab like free chocolate bars that look like a Kit Kat bar, honestly, and they just start going ham, throwing everything into their shopping bins, all that stuff. They're just stocking up, and Majin Buu and Majin Duu are absolutely delighted. And they've got all the good treats, you know, look like they just got through going trick-or-treating or something out there, man. Just incredible and stuff. Victoria in the chat says hi to you too as well. Thanks for being in the chat. I appreciate it. And so we got he basically tells them, he says, eat up, you can be powerful elites like us. I love how in the demon realm they are basically saying that if you eat up like us, basically you get big and strong. You know, usually you think, oh, you got to eat your protein and all that stuff to get big strong muscles. Here in the demon realm, they eat nothing but a bunch of junk and chocolate, and these guys are all relatively fit and shape and stuff like that for the most part. And so they give this guy, and he says 10,000 dokuro, which is basically their form of currency there. And he opens up, and this reaction, that boy is sweating bullets everywhere because they don't got enough money for that. He's like, Captain? And the captain's like confident, like, what is it? And he looks up, and they do the dramatic, they even have the background music where it goes like, and he's like, ah. And they do the zoom in on the eyes, like, oh, and he's sweating bullets because they ain't got enough to buy all this. And so he says, we'll just take these chocolates. And so they give both these chocolate bars over to Ku and Duu, and then they walk off the rest of them, and he says, kids shouldn't eat too much snacks anyway. And he's like, bye-bye. And then they start waving that I thank you very much. This was straight up silly, absolutely hilarious, and I love comedy like this. And this is stuff like, you know, like when you a little bit of comedy that doesn't take up too much time, you know, doesn't have to be the whole entire episode. I thought this was hilarious because these Zandamari guys are gonna have to probably face Ku and Duu eventually, especially with Duu being strong enough to overcome Tamagami 1. So I thought that was interesting. And then we go back to in the palace here with Dr. Arinsu, who's looking on, and right there you see Ku and Duu are just basically going to town on these chocolate bars, and Dr. Arinsu, she's looking down, and she's like, and she's looking at the Zandamari, the military police for Gomah, basically being out. They're basically being out right there at the in front of her palace, looking to be on guard. And this is where Dr. Arinsu, she looks up and she notices that the shield has been broken to the demon realm, to the first demon realm, that is, and even recognizes it through that sound. And that's where, she realizes, oh, has the shield been broken? I love all these shots of Dr. Arinsu. Like, this looks really awesome. Like, I just love the animation, the drawings, everything. Like, they knock it out of the park every single time. Like I said, Dr. Arinsu's design by Akira Toriyama is top tier, absolute. And so from there, we end up going to where there's a lot of turbulence. Glorio is told to slow down, but the plane's not gonna hold. And it's where Piccolo wonders. He's like, yeah, at this point we're gonna end up in the sky of the first demon realm. And he wonders, what's the temperature here? And basically Hibiscus response to this is, I don't know. I don't like it when it's hot. So obviously it's gonna be very hot, and this is where Vegeta and Piccolo are like, ugh. And from here, this is where Glorio starts explaining that the first demon realm, it's got a sun-like spear, and it's gonna be orbiting the world here. And as it says, basically the sky can reach up about 60 degrees Celsius. And he basically says we're gonna have to abandon this plane because it's gonna break down. It's not gonna make it, and we're just gonna have to fly. And basically to the demons, the Majins here, that 60 degrees basically is pretty hot for them. And this is where Bulma, aka Gomah, is basically saying here, am I the only one here who can't fly? And so Hibiscus goes like, it's hot, you're saying I have to carry you too? And Vegeta says, I wasn't, no, Bulma, aka Boba says, I wasn't asking you, I'll have Vegeta carry, and it says, I'll have Vegeta carry me. And basically, he goes like, he's like, whew, that's a relief. Oh my gosh, Hibiscus is hilarious. You know, I'm gonna miss some of these characters, Hibiscus, Panzy. Hopefully they come back in future, and when in future Dragon Ball Super material that goes past the end of Z. I would love to see that. And so from here, Glorio lets them know that we are almost here. Plane is about to go down. So they open up, and everyone basically jumps out, and Panzy, Piccolo, they're all flying away. Neva as well, right behind them, and Nahare, aka the East Kaioshin, aka the Supreme Kai, along with Son Goku. He's flying out, and I just thought this was so adorable. I was like, oh, just Vegeta before he goes picks up his wife Bulma, aka Gomah, and is ready. And Vegeta basically says, hey, don't forget the Dragon Balls. And Bulma, aka Gomah, she basically says, are you going to fight too? And Hibiscus says, of course not. And from here, she basically, on the way out of the plane, as Vegeta jumps out, says, then carry the Dragon Balls. And so Glorio, he hands him one of the Dragon Balls as he takes the other. And Hibiscus basically says, you know, you're pretty gloomy, but you're not a bad guy at all. And so he flies on out. And then so does Glorio. And what I have to believe, after all the plane issues, all the ship issues, that at this point Glorio clearly was fooling around with a lot of the ships basically to buy as much time as he needs for the Zandamari, for Dr. Arinsu to gather her Dragon Ball. It looks like the plane is finally crashing for the final time as it goes to the ground, and there you see they all are free falling basically out the sky and everything, skydiving basically. And Son Goku is like, whew, we barely made it, guys. And from there, this is Panzy. This is her first time seeing the first demon realm, and it's Bulma, aka Gomah, who mentions basically, it's hot, I'm dying over here. And from there, that's where Glorio explains that it's the proximity of the sun, and it should be cooler of the on the surface. So that's just how the demon realm works. And you got the military police guys walking, and they hear a big huge crash, and there you go, you see it on flames. The ship has crashed, like I said, for hopefully the final time, because that was such a huge plot point that was used over and over throughout all the Dragon Ball DAIMA. So I think we can finally put these plane/ship issues past us. And so from here, the Zandamari says, where the heck did it come from? And they see that the tunnel to the first demon realm is now open, and they're looking up there, and the guy gets some binoculars, and he sees all of them basically just free falling, diving out the sky. And he's like, send a report right now. And Getsu's like, yes, I got it. And he informs Gomah. He says, them outsiders, they made it over to the first demon realm. So he turns it over, and they start watching on the screen. And Gomah's like, what? He couldn't believe they got past Warp Sama being completely out. And he's like wondering what's going on. And I couldn't have been the only person at this point. I was wondering, does he know about Neva's ability? And so he's like, I thought you shut down Warp Sama. And he's like, I did. I apologize, sir. And from there, he's like, I can't believe that the tunnel has been disappeared. And he's like, what could have happened? And that's where I'm like, oh, okay, so he doesn't know about Neva's power, seeing Neva traveling with these guys. So he starts zooming in on Son Goku, and he's basically like, how? And another closer look on Son Goku's face. And I think it's at this point in Neva, in Zandamari, or in Gomah's mind, he starts realizing back on the footage, you know, when Son Goku did the classic "see you later" and destroyed Kid Buu, and he's like, ah. I think at this point, this is where Gomah's realizing, holy crap, it was Son Goku specifically who he saw deliver the final blow that destroyed Majin Buu once and for all. And he starts realizing it was Son Goku who defeated Tamagami 2. And of course, the people with him, Vegeta defeated Tamagami. Son Goku defeated Tamagami number 3. And then he realized that the people with him, aka Vegeta, defeated Tamagami number 2. And so he starts realizing that these guys are stronger than we thought. They don't even need Warp Sama. They can just travel through the barriers regardless. And Gomah is super angry, and his best thing to say is, forget that! Just attack them all! And it's like, I don't know what you're thinking. You've been estimating these Saiyajins all through this thing. Like, bro, what don't you understand? Man. So from there, and take a water break here. So from there, Pansy is going out of the sky, and she gets nearly shot with his purple light beam, and boom, there you see, almost wrecked her. And they're just unleashing fire. The Gendarmerie, they're just going ham, trying to take these guys out. And it's like, well, they might not know, but it's like, that's Gomah's orders. But it's like, they beat Majin Buu. They beat 2 of the Tamagamis. You got no chance at this point, bro. You just got no chance. And so Son Goku's like, we've been spotted. And from there, you see they're flying, trying to evade these blasts. Well, I don't even know if they really have to try that much and everything. They're just flying right past these things because they're all able to dodge all these laser beams and everything like that. So you're saying they're just having no issue at all. It's doing more destruction to the environment around them and everything. That's what we're seeing right here. And so the guy's just like, attack them! And so we get this really awesome thing. All the planes and ships start jumping up and flying off. Son Goku, he's looking back at them, and here in the ending shot of the episode, we get Goku and Vegeta, Bulma, Neva, Nahare, Supreme, aka Supreme Kai, Piccolo, Glorio, Panzy, Hibiscus. They're all being charged from looks like all the rest of the Gendarmerie, aka the military force of Gomah. And Son Goku looks forward, and this shot was just so awesome. That's why I had to use it as a thumbnail for this video. And from here, boom, in classic Dragon Ball, classic Dragon Ball in Dragon Ball Z fashion, the episode ends with a pause frame, basically that changes the color palette and contrast here. And it's like, basically find out what happens on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball DAIMA. And there we go. That's how the episode ends. Boy, I loved it. I love this episode. It was going. I thought the pacing was well, had great comedy, great motions. It really felt like it was putting in the complete set of the final battle, the final act, basically. Like, it just felt like, okay, now we're getting to big stance. It's episode 14, so I think there's about, what, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, about 6 episodes left. So yeah, because I believe Dragon Ball DAIMA, yeah, that ends at episode 20. So February 28th, let me look at my calendar here. I believe, yeah, that's gonna be February 28th that Dragon Ball DAIMA ends. And basically, we got 6 more episodes. So I think 6 episodes is definitely still enough for the final battle. What I'm gonna say though here is it's got to be all hands on deck at this point. Like, no more episodes where it feels like last week's episode was kind of inconsequential. But like I said, maybe we don't know. Maybe those giants from Demon Realm 2 will end up playing a part, because maybe, or the even more gigantic creatures that Neva hinted about, maybe they're gonna come from episode now that the Demon World portal is open. Maybe they're gonna come from Demon World 2 and come on in to Demon World 1, and we'll see what ends up going ahead happening there, and helping in this big battle like I think they really needed. Goku and Vegeta are probably gonna wreck these guys, let's be honest, and everything. The biggest thing is keeping Bulma safe and everything, because she's the most non-fighter of them all, probably Hibiscus as well. So I think this is really good, setting up things. It just had like that big epic finale feel. We're building towards a big finale, and I can't wait to see how things are gonna go, because we still have a fusion left. There's still a big battle to come, and a big giant eye. Remember that third eye, which I think Hibiscus has, is the big deal, because at this point it's like, okay, the Tamagami's been defeated. Majin Duu, well, at least Majin Duu is obviously going to be a formidable foe if they have to face Goku and Vegeta. And you know, we've got like 3 different factions. We got Goku's crew, we've got Dr. Arinsu's crew, and we've got Gomah and all his military force. So I really love the dynamics here, like who's going to get the 3 Dragon Balls. I kind of wonder at this point if Gomah is going to end up being the big bad, but he's going to get that third eye, and that's what's going to push Son Goku and Vegeta beyond their limits, like to the point where even Super Saiyan 3, better known as Super Saiyan 3 in the dub, in the American dub, Super Saiyan 3 in the Japanese version, maybe we're gonna see SS3 Goku and Vegeta a foe. Maybe Gomah gets that third eye and he's even too much for them, and that's when we get to see their fusion. I really still wonder if we're gonna get like a Super Saiyan 4 type of thing. Maybe they'll call it Super Saiyan Daima or something, like a form that they can only do in the demon realm for the Saiyan. So a lot of possibilities. I can't wait to see where the next 6 episodes take us. I'm hoping there's gonna be action from here, very suspenseful, just something that builds those highest highs, and hopefully these 6 episodes will be something that truly define Dragon Ball DAIMA, because there's a lot of people that are doubting the show. This series really, like I said, it caters to all types of Dragon Ball fans, not just the ones that are all about the action and everything. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode, way better than last week's episode and stuff like that. So definitely had a blast with this episode, and it's got me hyped, ready to see where we're going for episode 15. And then looking back on what we got coming up for the new episodes here, it's going to be called The Third Eye. So I'm wondering how much that's going to be playing a role. So we see the military force. They're unleashing all these blasts and stuff. Son Goku obviously is being able to dodge them, and we see Glorio and Panzy shooting their guns basically. So this is really cool. We don't really see too many of these shootout type of battles in Dragon Ball, so it's going to be cool to see this. I don't know why Nahare is basically back to like you're much stronger than all these military force. I don't know. Okay, whatever. We see Piccolo. He's getting in the action, shooting some gigantic ki blasters over there. And we see right here Vegeta also basically, I love the shot of that fire behind him. Like, I love the setting. The setting is looking really great for our final battle. And Vegeta starts basically shooting another ki blast here. This artwork is just looking good. Animation looking on point. So I'm very glad to see where this is going to end up going. And then we see that apparently someone's teleported behind him. So I wonder if they're going to be end up fighting the top 5. But obviously the fact that they're all in base form, the fact that Piccolo, the fact that Piccolo hasn't taken off his turban or weights yet, like how serious are we going to take these guys? Hopefully this is not going to be another episode where they spend 18 minutes fighting these guys in base form, and then they finally go to their much more powerful forms and do waste with them. Like, let's be honest, we ain't got more time to waste. We only got 6 episodes left, and I'm hoping that the script is written where Toriyama is going to basically make sure all 6 episodes flow really well. So hopefully we'll see where it goes. Son Goku flying right there, coming in with the energy ki blast. So hopefully this is just easy work for them early on in the episode, and we'll get to the real meat and potatoes of this later on, midway into the episode or something like that. So Goku shooting a ki blast here. So I'm loving what we're seeing. If anything, this definitely shows we're in for what looks to be an action-packed episode. And I wonder right here, this is very interesting. Goku does a ki blast, but then he looks uncertain if this is gonna hit. So who could he be shooting at here? Very interesting. And perhaps one of the things that's cool, we're gonna get a flashback with Dabura, aka Dabura in the American dub. So it looks like he has the third eye, or key to the third eye, it looks like. So looking forward, because we had to get some flashbacks with Dabura and his father Abura. So gonna be really interesting to see some Dabura stuff, because as you see, he doesn't have the Majin symbol on the forehead. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's gonna go on here. So definitely looking very much forward to that. And that's a wrap, man. I had a blast this week. I really enjoyed the episode. I really got a lot to complain about at all. It looked like for some of the fan base out there, some people liked episode 13 better than 14. Others like 14, like myself, better than 13. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. But what I love most is that episode 14 really got the plot moving and had things that progressed the story. And I think that's what I really enjoyed the most. All right, we're going to go and check out the chat here and see if anything new was said. Looks like nothing much from earlier. Victoria Lobo, I see, said something in a language that I don't recognize. So here, let me see if I can translate this right quick. And everything from here. Let's see. Portuguese. Okay, that's Portuguese. Lula is starving and Bolsonaro does nothing. I don't understand that. I don't even know if Google did a great job of translating that. But hey, I appreciate coming by to help out on supporting the channel, because yeah, all the comments basically help the engagement level of the algorithm. So thank you very much for engaging in the chat, Victoria Lobo. That being said, I would definitely love to read you all's comments in either in the description for the comment and all that stuff below. But yeah, that being said, you can find more Dragon Ball content right there on the screen. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms in both the description and pinned comment below. Until Dragon Ball DAIMA episode 15, I will be back for another one.